switch over to, you guys won't be able to be heard. At 10 seconds, I'm just going to tell you guys when to wave. Okay, wave.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
What the hell did you do that for?
So I can kill him.
40 years ago, the boogeyman came for us. We are the survivors of Michael Myers.
Glory, what do we do?
We fight. A man couldn't have survived that fire. You don't believe in the boogeyman? He's here! Michael! You should. You and Allison should not have to keep running. Evil dies tonight. I'm coming for you, Michael.
It's been a long time. Stop. Come on. Yeah. Hey, yo, it's my life, my time, my rights, my rhymes, my struggle, hustle, sweat in my blood too. My predators smell fear, smell a lot. My competitors flex scared, but it smelled I was hot. I want it all. Excess, the sex, much success, stress us. I want it all, no less. So come on. What do you do?
The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. You will rest in peace.
Welcome in, everybody, to episode 10 of Chicken and Rice. Now, originally today, we were scheduled to have a guest, but we are always ready to adapt and bring it to you real. So, joined today by my co-hosts, of which one looks a little... Oh, no. Dr. Loomis! He did. Anyway. Joined today, of course, by my co-host. He went to sleep. Sleep is in chat right now. But we're not going to get into that right now. Anyway, my host, Pence Fan 1 and NLG _ CTV, the whole of Noob Level Gaming. I'm D. Charles Jackson as well. So today's discussion is on the Halloween trilogy thus far, because there's one more film to go that will make it a quadrilogy to close things out, but we got a year to wait on that. So welcome in, everyone. Bingo, Jace, and I'm sure more will come. Let's get to the nitty gritty, gentlemen. First of all, happy birthday today to one of the college OGs who shall not be named for security purposes, of course, but all I'll say is this: if you know, you know. Happy birthday. That's all I got for y'all. Those who know. Michael can talk.
That's the first thing he says?
Say something.
It is her birthday today. Micah Myers is not speaking. There's just a speaker in here because he refuses to talk. This is actually NLG _ CTV. I put a microphone inside his mask, and this asshat wouldn't talk when I told him to. So he's just holding the mic when I
like
asked
Stephen
him
Hawking?
to.
He took your house, didn't he?
He doesn't know where I'm hiding, so he just went to the spot where I'd most likely be.
Oh, thank God. Okay. Well, he's pretty smart. You would be here this time. We'll start with, we're discussing the trilogy. I'll quickly recap the original film. It's so old, everyone knows, and if I'm spoiling this for you, as the Beast would say, tough shit, you bet to subscribe. So, the original film begins in 1963. A first-person point of view shows a figure killing a girl in the house. Turns out the figure gets outside, it's a kid. Whoa, who was in like a clown costume, and he killed his sister. Fast forward 15 years, he's been in a mental asylum for all these years. He said nothing for the 15 years, just been staring at a wall. Dr. Loomis is his doctor, obviously. Spent the first half trying to figure him out, spent the latter half trying to lock him away, make sure he stayed away for good. He escapes one night. Halloween Eve night, I believe, because the next day, like, it's Halloween for when he actually gets to Haddonfield. He's able to drive too somehow, even though he's been locked up for 15 years. He's been locked up since he was 6 years old. He's 21 now. Gets to Haddonfield, just goes straight home. That's important to keep in mind. Just go straight home until a young lady, 17 years of age in high school, drops off some keys at the behest of her father because he's a real estate guy. He sees her. And it begins the stalking. He shows up outside of her school while she's there, watches her friends. He's outside of her house, even standing out in the clothing, like the laundry area. And also, too, in that very scene, something that always perplexed me is how she blinks. No, she doesn't even blink. She's still looking in the area after seeing him, and he disappears. Now, like, of course, there's many theories. Like, of course, maybe Michael really does just have this ability to, like, affect your psyche with his mere presence too. I don't know. But moving forward, nighttime comes. It's Halloween night. Kids are trick-or-treating, blah, blah, blah. Laurie's got to babysit. Fun fact, the original film was originally supposed to be called The Babysitter Murders. Michael goes on a spree. He kills Laurie's two friends, then centers down on Laurie. Fails to kill her and the kids. Dr. Loomis shows up in time, who has also been alerting the police as to how big of a threat this is, but no one takes him seriously, not for another 40 years at least. Shows up in the nick of time, shoots Michael 6 times in the chest, falls off a balcony. He's got to be dead. He checks. The body's there. He goes back to check on Laurie. Was that the boogeyman? As a matter of fact, it was. Goes to check. The body is not there. And the film ends. I feel like he did get up like that. Anyway, though, on to explain. But you know what? Like, I'll say this too. Flashbacks in Halloween Kills show what did happen for the rest of that night, but I will leave that to Juicy when we get to Halloween Kills. So now that the original is over 40 years later, the Beast shall tell us about the 2018 film, which he is such a master of.
First of all, folks, I want to say it is hot as shit in this jumpsuit. No bullshit. It's not the mask. It's the jumpsuit.
That's where he gets his powers from.
Everything.
The jumpsuit.
Also, Juice, your face was okay. There we go. It's fixed. It's lagging a bit, but you were not matching what you were laughing with. Anyway, folks. With that being said, Halloween 2018, a phenomenal film. 40 years later to the day.
Yeah.
John Carpenter returns back into the masterpiece. And essentially, it's a retelling almost of the 1978 film. Just everywhere Michael was, Laurie gets flipped in certain situations where the stalking is. And the knocked on the over the balcony, looks away, looks over, and Michael Myers has a Batman moment in The Dark Knight Rises where Catwoman disappears. He's just like, so that's what that and yeah, essentially 2018 is Laurie Strode preparing for Michael Myers all her life, getting her kids ready, and they believe her paranoia and neurosis was more of an infectious thing, and she's just waiting for him to come out. She even addresses him as the Shape. And not only that, but they introduce a new doctor because Donald Pleasance at this point has passed away, and they introduce Dr. Sartain, which this film takes a lot of nods to previous films, like Season of the Witch was mentioned briefly with the mask, where you see Michael return into Haddonfield. Immediate return nod too is where they actually bring up that in this version of the timeline, she has a daughter, just like she had Jamie Lloyd. Right, Jamie Lloyd, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Jamie Lloyd in, I believe, the first new timeline that they had spawned in after Halloween 2.
The Thorn trilogy.
They also cancel out that Michael and Laurie are not related. They're not related anymore. So it goes back to, you know, Michael just happened to see her. Shit just happened to be that way. Just wrong place, wrong time. No rhyme or reason, just wanted to kill her. But they hint that maybe it's still an obsession, that like that's the one that got away in 2018. With that being said, they take the route and go back to reference The Curse of Michael Myers, which I believe CJ informed me was the 6th film, the final film, I believe, that Donald Pleasance is in, where a deleted scene they had a original ending that he was going to be initiated into the Cult of Thorn, and he was end up being Michael Myers' protector instead of trying to continuously be on the hunt for him. And
Damn.
instead, they had to retcon it and just write it off. Or that's the one where Donald Pleasant's character Sam Loomis dies because the actor was actually dying. He and unfortunately had passed away after that film. And so they went that route where Sartain was the one that not only freed Michael, but actually saves him from the sheriff Frank Hawkins, I believe, and because Michael is very vulnerable throughout the entirety of this film. He gets hit pretty hard. He avoids vital damages or vital hits in this one. The first big hit he takes is actually getting shot in the shoulder by Laurie, and you see it actually shrug him like, and he shows damage. So like it's not like he gets hit and just tanks it off, and he moves faster. Laurie comes in. She is not screwing around. She is full Sarah Connor in T2 Judgment Day. Got every gun, but she doesn't need a fucking T800 to come by. She is the T800.
Yeah.
With that being said, as well, we have some characters that do know him. She references that Sartain is the new Loomis, but then we find out Sartain has this weird penknife, stabs Hawkins, presumed dead, and is the one that actually takes both Allison and Michael over to Laurie's household, and he breaks out, and it just throws a little nod to what if Loomis had to be his protector. In this case, it's Sartain, and it works really well because initially they were going to end the film with Michael dying, Sartain becomes the new Myers, but they're like, no, nobody wants that. Thankfully,
Thank God they
didn't
didn't do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, so to quickly, immediately end that, Michael has Sartain on his back, and he's just say something. And Michael looks at him, stomps his head out like a pumpkin, and tilts his head, signature head to just classic chef's kiss, and gets very creative kills. Unfortunately, kills Allison's father, which is Karen's husband, which is Laurie's son-in-law now. So he does die in this film, and he was kind of the only one that had no idea of what the hell was going on, more so than anyone else. Like Allison's probably the runner-up in that regards. And together, the three Hollow Women unite a solid front, and for most of it, it starts off as Laurie versus Michael, and she really has prepared. Every room she checks, it's very empty and vacant, so it's almost no place for him to hide. Any place that he could hide, she immediately takes a shot in it to just try and hit him. And any room that she's checked, she locks it behind her, so even if he somehow is in there, he can't get out. And the only way back in, or him for to go out, is if he isn't there, is to jump out a window and come back to the front door. Either way, she'll know exactly where he is, and for the most part. And after what seems like a failed attempt, Karen has to defend her and her daughter, and she seems like she can't do it. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ma, I can't do it." And Michael pops in, and she just goes, "Gotcha," and shoots him right in the face. And even Michael's caught off guard, just hits him in the face. Laurie gives the greatest final girl like throwdown ever. Just happy Halloween, Michael, and just the Hollow Woman beat his ass. Like it makes him look very vulnerable. And again, he takes no vital hits. He takes plenty of hits. He gets hit by a car, unconscious. Gets stabbed in like the side areas. Again, no vital spots are shown, so it makes him look very, very plausible. He gets his fingers shut off. His ring and pinky finger get shut off completely by a shotgun blast, and it hurts him bad. Like you see him react, and he has to let go of Laurie, and he is shaking from the pain, and it pisses him off. It ends with them explaining that the house was not made as a fortress to keep him out. It's actually to keep him in and trap him in there. And they light the whole thing on fire with gas, throw a flare in there, it lights on fire, and we just see Michael looking up, pissed off. And the three Hollow Women, the three Strode women, get in the car and they just go away as the house is ablaze. And all you hear at the end is Michael just breathing this. And just it's a very throwback to 1978 at the end where Michael got away and we just don't know what the hell happened. So Halloween Kills picks up for there. same night. And I believe we're throwing this to Juice now, right? Are we throwing this back to you, CJ?
We're going to the Juice. Same night, picking right up where the last one left off. There was also something at the end of Halloween Kills that perplexed me too, but I really like how the series is clearly leading toward passing the torch to its new heroine. The last shot of the 2018 film is of Allison with that bloody knife in her hand.
Fun fact too, everybody. This may be a shot in the dark, but it feels like Halloween 2018 references everything in relation to specifically the Jamie Lloyd timeline. And it seems like the Halloween Kills references the rest of the films, and we'll touch more on that. But Juice, go ahead and explain. Do you want to give a spoiler-free version first review of the movie?
I was about to ask that because I had no idea.
I'll say this: it's been what, almost a week, 6 days now. 6 days.
Just for clarity, Juice, give him a spoiler-free review, and then once you're done giving that review, then we'll let him know it's going to be spoilers and all. So.
Okay, so pretty much Halloween Kills, it begins like literally seconds after after the 2018 Halloween movie. Michael is still alive, surprise, and pretty much makes he does a killing spree. That's literally the entire movie. He goes crazy. He's mad about the whole thing going on with him almost getting killed. So he goes killing spree. Pretty much no hesitation. Goes for anybody within his path. And yeah, he makes a beeline to his actual home in Haddonfield. So every single place that he goes and kills people, it's literally on a straight route to his original home. And everybody, they go, you know what? You guys have terrorized us long enough. We are going to just knock you out. We're gonna gang up on you. We're going 100 to 1. It's definitely a thing that can happen. This is where I go spoiler alert. It doesn't happen. Because Michael reminded them, oh yeah, by the way, there's still one more movie to come, so I can't die. So yeah, I'm not dying tonight. So yeah, that's literally the super quick I'm trying to think of the word. What was that one website that we always use for like quick summaries that our teachers never told us to? Yeah, that's literally the Cliff Notes version of Halloween Kills. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Spark Notes and Cliff Notes and
at this point they're going to be called Hollow Notes.
Yeah, there was a third one too, but I can't remember the name of it. So screw all that. We're not here to talk about that anyway. That was very well done. I guess all three of us can jump into spoiler territory for Kills. So this is a warning, a spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Halloween Kills, get your ass out to the theater and see it, or hop your ass on Peacock. See it.
Get the F out of here.
Get the F out of here. But go more into detail into Halloween Kills 2. I would like to impart the words of our fourth member who could not be here today because he is busy. But I talked with him, and he said he just gave me one. He gave me Michael's dead inside.
He hurts.
So evil that hell won't have him, like Loomis said in Halloween 5. But what Marcus, young Mark, why was saying in regards to the series, or in regards to specifically Kills, that he wasn't really feeling, was actually how they did Laurie, how Laurie was handled. He said that, like, she's sidelined. Like, if she's supposed to be the main character, then what's up with the movie trying to imply that she's not important? Of course, I know the answer, like, to why that's like happening, but I do get where he's coming from too. with her being sidelined and with her giving herself the shot in the movie, like to get herself up, to still just remain in the hospital.
Don't forget, folks.
It was very realistic
Marcus
thing.
thinks Godzilla, well, Zilla is a good move with Ferris
Oh,
Bueller.
Jesus.
So
Oh.
his judgment is a little askew, just FYI.
You. But I do get what he's saying. How I would answer that is the film feels like a redo, and this goes for the 2018 film as well. A redo, not a retelling, a redo of Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2 from 1981, the one that Carpenter himself disowns. Right.
It's pretty much the version if Michael was like, I don't need to go to that hospital.
Yeah, this is that where because the whole thing is, as Hawkins even says to her too.
I wish that was still canon. That shit's hilarious.
What, like the Ben Tramer scene?
Yeah.
But if it were, we know for sure he's not the dad. He came out of nowhere. What do you mean he came out of nowhere? If he was in the middle of the street and like we saw your lights approach him. Cops lie like that though. That happens in Halloween Kills. Like the cops are all like, "Look, here's how you're gonna get out of killing your own partner." Yeah. So like the whole point of Laurie not being special was that no one is special when it comes to Michael. She's still the like the lead, like the original, the heroine. Like it's still her. But Michael doesn't care who you are. Doesn't care what you're about. If you're in the way, you die. Or at least we thought that. Because in the flashback in Kills, Lonnie encounters Michael. And he leaves him alone. Doesn't do anything. And we know for a fact that Michael does not discriminate. He kills kids. That dab was so perfectly timed, it's ridiculous.
That's what he does to just Lonnie. He just walks up on Lonnie and he's like, "You gonna kill me?"
Lee's all like, "I'm sorry, I tripped Tommy Doyle," which actually kind of clued me in because I didn't know who Lonnie was at first. I'm like, who's this new kid that they're introducing like into the 78 plot? No, he's the kid from the original film who tripped Tommy when he was holding the pumpkin and he broke it, and then he's running away after, and Michael stops him. So Michael didn't kill him twice. That's twice that he didn't kill Lonnie. Until Lonnie was an adult, of course, and kills, and he goes in the house and stuffs his ass in the attic.
Director's cut. He runs into Michael and Michael just looks at him.
Or he just
throws him to the side.
Here. But just throw it. But to the beginning of Kills opens with Allison's stupid boy toy still fucking going around. He's the one who threw her phone in the punch at the party. Dude, I would have whooped his ass for that. Straight up, like that pissed me off so much in the 2018 movie when he did that.
You don't have to. Michael did it. He's like, hey,
yeah, I think Michael was pissed. I wanted you to call the cops, but he finds Hawkins. It turns out that Hawkins survives, which I'm going to call a retcon. Straight up. He was dead in 2018. Didn't they run him over with the car too?
They never... I'll go over that. Go ahead.
Okay, well, anyway. We get the flashback, the first flashback to the original night. After the falling off the balcony and he disappears, he's just walking around. Still, Hawkins encounters him. Haddonfield Sheriff's Department. Stop right there. And I just got to say, these flashback scenes are arguably the best parts of the movie. I could watch an entire film that would have told the aftermath of that night.
I don't like that they show a version of Michael fast as fuck like how he is in current day film. Because when he comes out of nowhere to fucking rush the cop.
I'll excuse that with the camera. The camera jumped like and skipped like them being on the wall. I'll excuse it with that. Still terrifying. But also, as far as him moving fast, maybe it was the sense of urgency from being shot.
It's like Jason running. I don't know. That was terrifying.
You know, Jason runs in the original movies too, but people always overlook it. He didn't just run in the remake. But when he ran in the remake, though,
was different.
oh my
It hit
gosh.
different.
When he ran in the remake,
Fucking loud ass footsteps.
when he runs over to swings that machete down. But anyway, in the flashback, Michael keeps walking away from Hawkins anyway, even though he tells him to stop, and appears to disappear through a gate. And then like his partners show up, and his direct partner was actually childhood friends, doing the quote fingers with Michael. He remembers when everything happened, like when Michael killed Judith. They go to the Myers house to do some investigating. Like they see all the things that we saw in the original, the broken window, the dead dog, all of that jazz. Michael,
They never see the dead dog in the original. It's just rough.
Right.
They just say they see it.
Like,
but we actually have a body now.
Man couldn't have done this. This is the man who's all like, why'd he kill the dog? Probably got hungry, right? Like, or something like that. So he does notice the footsteps in the room from just looking out the window, and mid-talk, Michael ambushes him, and he's choking him out. Hawkins shows up, drop him or I'll shoot. Drop him or I'll shoot. I said drop him. Of course, Michael's not going to drop him. He shoots his own partner in the neck, mortally wounds him.
I'm going to go get the cops.
Michael drops him, exits really fast. When I say really fast, like he's still walking, by the way. Hawkins is so shocked that he misses all the shots.
Hawkins can't shoot for shit in this one.
Michael's in a hallway, like going down the stairs, and he goes back to check on his partner. He's like, just tell him we got him. He's like, we got him. Partner dies. Meanwhile, outside, the whole department has pulled up and closed Michael off right outside of that house. And Loomis is there, too. He's like, stop right there, Michael. And he goes inside, too. He's like, Officer Hawkins, tell me what happened. Did Michael kill again? He never directly answers him. Like, right? Back outside, Loomis behind Michael, every cop in the city in front of him, gun aimed on him. And the scene is straight up the mirroring of the opening of the original film where Michael was caught by his parents after killing Judith. Even the music, too. And like the way that he stands there, the actor who portrayed the younger Michael, excellent job. That's just how he stood in the original film. It's how Nick Castle stood as Michael. It's really well done. Then you get the credits, which the credits always resemble what's to come in the film. The original film, the jack-o'-lantern. In Halloween 2, like the one that's not canon anymore, there's a jack-o'-lantern with a skull inside of it because the movie's more violent. It's darker. Halloween 2018, it's a jack-o'-lantern coming back to life to resemble that the franchise is back properly. Halloween Kills, it's a league of jack-o'-lanterns ablaze. This is chaos. That's also just what the movie was.
Mentioning all the other timelines that were a fucking mess.
Yeah.
That's just my theory, though.
So, as Juice said, pretty much, the movie consists of Michael killing a bunch of dumbasses, which is one of my gripes. Now, this is a horror movie. This is what happens. People can't be the wisest of the bunch. This isn't Scream, right? Like, this is like, it's still a horror movie.
Even then they die.
Like, yeah, like, and even in Scream, they die. And they know the tropes in Scream. But these are some of the dumbest characters I've ever seen in a horror movie. Everyone. Long story short, too, Michael wipes out every last remaining survivor of his 1978 massacre. So the kids who survived
from the trailer,
gone.
40 years ago, the boogeyman attacked us.
Except
we
Lori.
are the survivors. And Lindsay. Those are the only two that survived.
And Lindsay, just barely, by trying to pull his mask off. And he's all like, bitch. Puts it back on.
I'm a professional.
Right. Professional. In Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, one of my personal favorites. It's up there, top 3. Amazing movie. And it was only written in 10 days, the screenplay. Fun fact. Very impressive. Coming from a screenwriter. 10 days? Damn. But anyway, in that movie, Michael was at his most dangerous until kills, and physically destroyed Haddonfield. He had a mapped out plan, it seems, in that movie. When he escaped, He violently eviscerated the ambulance crew, eviscerated a gas station / diner / auto shop of people.
Let's be honest, that was Loomis. That wasn't him.
He incited it. Heads to the police station ahead of time and pulls a worse than T-800 massacre on the entire department to make sure that they can't come and fuck things up this time. Right? Then heads to the power for the town, takes out the power in the town. Then heads to Haddonfield to get back to killing in search of his niece.
And Michael said, I got optional quests to do, or side quests. I gotta do
he
those
took
first.
care of everything. He physically destroyed Haddonfield in Halloween 4. In Halloween Kills, what up, Ganny? We see you. In Halloween Kills, Michael mentally destroys Haddonfield, turning them into a hate mob, making them turn on one another. They even acknowledge it, making them go for the kill on the other mental patient who ends up suiciding, which is a very, very gruesome shot.
Very graphic.
Very graphic. Legs separated from the body, from the ankle, head gushed open.
I usually don't say this, but
ground.
considering I have like a very young cousin, do not take your kids to see Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
this is
you shouldn't be
not a
taking
film for children.
Yeah, not for kids at all. Far more violent than the 2018 film and the original. So, and like the trailer was saying these things, like the more he kills, the more he transcends. Whether that is to be taken literally, we don't know yet. We don't have the answers to absolutely everything yet. All we can do is theorize, try to put the pieces of the puzzle together, but Halloween Ends will have all the answers. Director David Gordon Green has said Michael is not supernatural. That is the head of the project, David Gordon Green. But to go back, the creator of it all, John Carpenter, with the things that he was doing in the original film, and maybe even Halloween 2, Michael was definitely supernatural, especially in Halloween 2. Or maybe he wasn't in Halloween 2 either, because the fire does kill him at the end. He did have a limit, right? So Michael was not supernatural. The Beast and I, or the Shape and I, were sitting around talking, and he had the science put together on how Michael could be surviving all the things that we've seen him go through since 2018, in the original. He put it very well, so I would leave that to him to explain.
Okay, so there is an actual plausible scientific way to prove that Michael is actually able to survive the shit that he survived. So as you all know, we all have what's known as scar tissue and stuff. That's essentially our version of a healing factor, kind of like Wolverine and Deadpool and Michael Myers. Is Michael a natural born killer, or does he have demons in his head?
We don't know yet.
That's the mystery of it.
Yeah.
That's what makes him so dangerous. He has no purpose. He has no reason. He just does what he does because he does it.
That's what makes him the most terrifying. There is no rhyme or reason.
Yep, with nothing that has no purpose and just does it is the most terrifying thing possible.
And he's making art pieces too, like the way that he leaves everybody like they're like a work of art.
Sort of pleasure out of it.
Yeah, like it's something else, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so with that being said, folks, we all have some form of a healing factor, and there's a study that shows that if it were to be sped up, anything in our body, if it were to be accelerated would be considered supernatural. And it's my theory is that Michael's essentially healing factor heals faster than most people's, which would explain how he's able to recover so fast from brutal injuries. And it doesn't have to be like accelerating speed. It could be like minor, like as long as it's like twice as fast as a human body's, like a normal human, it's still supernatural. Not supernatural, excuse me, superhuman. And that would mentally impair your body big time, which could explain why Michael doesn't talk, like why at a young age he just kind of snapped. And usually patients that have mental instabilities are able to actually reach into this like almost pure adrenaline stage, which is why if you see like some patients that are mentally impaired that are like let's say like 90 pounds, but they have the strength of like almost a bodybuilder in that state because they're so impaired. It's the same thing that can apply to Michael, which is why he has so much goddamn strength. And if his healing factor is probably the reason why he's able to get back up, which would be the only scientific, natural reason, it would explain so much why he's unstable, why he's unstoppable, but why there's still some logic. Like he is like an animal, really, too, like the way they describe it. And he's able to survive, hunt, kill, and just essentially goes into hibernation pretty much when he needs to. And it's almost like hollowing is his hunting ground. And yeah,
How about those
Michael is
the H2O connections you were making?
yeah. So what I've also figured out too is that each Strode member of the Hollow Women represent a point in time what Laurie was. So Allison represents the 1978 Laurie. Karen represents the H2O Laurie, where Allison had like no experience, was not ready for this at all, and just kind of got thrown into it. Karen was prepared, but wasn't exactly experienced enough, so she's in that middle ground, kind of like how H2O Laurie is. They even throw a nod at H2O in Halloween 2018 when the boyfriend of Allison's best friend comes by, the stoner dude. He has a little wooden horse. He's like, "Oh, this is Tate." And she's like, "Hi, Tate." That was the surname that Laurie goes to use to go into hiding from Michael. With that being said, though, as well, Karen does represent H2O Laurie, and it's almost like Laurie herself represents every version of herself with all the experience just matched on together, or she is the new Loomis. So it means that as long as Michael's alive, she can't die either. So they're just forever now intertwined. And CJ and I called pretty much everything down in this movie except for the flashbacks, because there's no way we could have really foreseen that. Like, I think if we actually took a look at some of the trailers and paused it frame for frame, we could have found some of that stuff.
I noticed that
going back and editing,
they
those,
did show the flashbacks in the trailers.
They are in the trailer. So if we actually,
but it's like blink and you miss it.
Pause it. So that's why I said if we went back to pause it frame for frame, we would have found that and probably could have thrown that in there analysis wise. But we didn't exactly have time to do that, unfortunately. But yeah, so and if you guys remember, or any fans of the H2O series, that version of Laurie does end up dying at the end, and in Halloween Resurrection. And Karen, spoiler alert, does die at the end of this film.
Some people are trying to say that she doesn't. Nah, she's dead.
Yeah, because I made it a point too. I initially said, and this is where I have to change it, but anytime there's a kill by Michael Myers, they're for sure dead.
It's legit.
That's why they make a point that when Sartain killed Hawkins, he didn't actually kill him. And they actually show him run over him, and then when they rush him to the hospital and kills, he has a busted knee, so it's implied that they ran over his knee. They didn't actually run him over. And I think if you look at the shot with Camden in the beginning, you actually can see his knees actually like busted up. So that's how Sheriff Hawkins actually survives, or Officer Hawkins. And they also do a bunch of other nods in the films, which is why they have Tommy Doyle leading the charge, like how he led the charge in Curse, where they go over that whole Cult of Thorn thing. And they touch on paranoia and neurosis and how Laurie is seeing Michael Myers, like, even though she sees him like getting loaded up to be transferred out, you see like an image of the shape, Michael Myers, the shape of him, like in Laurie's window, and she does that signature scream. So, to answer like a lot of the supernatural things, Michael is probably just so like terrifying that people just think they see him half the time, which is why like CJ asked me this question when we were discussing this in the flashback. How is it that he just turned into that gate and just vanished like that? Simple answer, he was never there. And then he said, "Oh well, how do they know what he looks like?" Well, how does Lonnie really know what he looks like? Like, he's able to have this perfect image of him, and
I realize there's an answer to Lonnie now.
I realize there is an answer for that. Mm-hmm.
We didn't realize that while we were talking about it from when he saw him earlier, when he stopped him outside of the school, like, and he ran away. But he didn't know that was Michael. That's just an image that he remembered of a scary man
Yep.
stopping him before.
Subtle details too, which the officers give a description of Michael Myers. So it's pretty sure that every officer knows what he looks like based off that description.
Did they
So
say
I'm
guy in a
pretty
white
sure that-
mask when they were in the
Yeah,
car,
they're
like
like
they drove by?
Uh-huh. I believe so, if I remember correctly, because they say Michael Myers and they give a description to the kids because they can't watch everybody in Haddonfield, and they need to let them know to run away if they see that.
Right.
And they have to assume they've seen him already because remember in Halloween 2, they hit Ben Tramer assuming it's him. So we're gonna have to use that prior knowledge, assuming in that version the officers already know what he looks like, and they're giving descriptions. So essentially, they're spreading, like they say, the infection of the boogeyman out there. And so I think it's just a simple case that if Michael is doing something that seems superhuman, like teleporting, he's just not really there. Because it makes no damn sense for him to be able to move from point to point without being spotted.
There's a bit of a problem. I think I know the answer to this though. It's that like he came and went through the back door. But if he's not really there when it seems like he moved really fast and teleported somewhere, that would mean that Karen is still alive, based off of what people are saying. Because like the way that he just appeared in there. Now, of course, he went around everyone because he had just beat the shit out of everyone like that mob. Went through the back door. Like, he knows these neighborhoods. He knows how to get around.
Michael could get there fast enough.
Yeah. We see how fast he walks too. So
and they
went to the back door.
They never locked the back door.
Right. But then some people say then they were sitting in the doorway. Like there were hella people there with the front door wide open. How'd they not see him?
The back door.
He's a ninja. You can't hear Michael when he moves.
Been getting past people for literal days.
Yeah. So that's no problem. Even. Then there's the prospect of, okay, is the mask giving him the powers? No, it's not. The mask is not the source.
The mask is something they touch on as well for patients. There's one patient that they actually show in Halloween Kills, the one that actually jumps off. He's holding an umbrella because he has a compulsive disorder where he's kind of like obsessed with certain things. The mask and the suit is just something Michael's obsessed with. It's just his comfort suit. Like Michael without it on, like he can still do what he does. But when he puts it on, he is who he is, just completely. It's where he feels most comfortable. And I think Michael Myers actually has heightened senses because of that increased healing factor, basically. Again, not by much, but enough to still make him superhuman. And I think he's got a photographic memory because Dr. Sartain in 2018 and the podcasters come in and they're like, oh, does he know we're here? He's like, oh, yes. He knew you were here the moment you arrived. He's been watching you. Implying that no matter where they were, he knows exactly where they were. And they came through doors, gates that were out of his sight. And he knows where they are without even looking in their direction. And he has one eye that is completely blind because Laurie stabbed him.
Way back in the original film.
Yeah, so his healing factor isn't like perfect. So it will just heal the wound where it doesn't do permanent damage, but it can't fix it completely. So that implies that you could technically blind Michael Myers completely. And it would explain why he figured out how to drive. Maybe he just had to see someone drive one day and just drove off. Because he did see Dr. Loomis a lot. Let's say he didn't see Loomis drive enough times and put two and two together. With that being said, though, in Halloween Kills as well, they throw a mention of possibly mentioning the Cult of Thorn. Like, is he supernatural? And like CJ says, the director openly says, no, he is very, very human. And every kill that Michael does, or now that I'm realizing any kill that comes from evil intentions is always a definite kill. I'm counting the mob killing that dude when he jumped. And it's to understand that this isn't Laurie anymore versus the town. Versus Michael. It's the town versus Michael Myers. It's to contrast how much Laurie prepared, how easy she made it look dealing with Michael, and how much they fucked up. And they don't even know what he looks like, considering that it was a 40-year gap.
Tommy.
Really know Michael remember him when they were kids, or one encounter. There's only one other person that was an adult that encountered Michael, and it was the nurse, and she saw him without this attire, basically. So she didn't really know what he looks like until she encountered him.
This
And
one's for
Tommy
Dr.
Doyle, his
Loomis.
heart was in the right place, but he screwed up so many times.
He's a good storyteller.
Oh yeah, good storyteller.
Guy from the Breakfast Club too.
Yeah, almost everybody except for Lindsay does die in this film, and it's just this is Michael's film basically, and it's another nod to every version where Michael pretty much carried the entire Halloween series. Tommy Doyle is thrown in there as well, and then Allison is kind of like representing all the other heroines that picked up after Laurie as well. She doesn't die per se because they do need her. She still represents the original Laurie Strode, but she tries her best, and it's just she does not have enough experience to actually do what and replicate what Laurie actually succeeded in doing. She actually won for the most part. It's just unfortunate events kept Michael alive. And if Michael was superhuman, he wouldn't have hid in that shutter. So
right,
he hid
exactly.
For a reason.
Yeah.
And if you look when he opens the shutter, nothing in there is on fire. So I'm sure Laurie patted it down to make sure that all of her weapons are safe in case she needs to go back and get them.
Seeing his eyes in the flashback in Kills, when Hawkins is shining a light on him as he's choking the guy out, that reminds me of H2O, because that movie loved to show his eyes off. Halloween 2 did too. They loved, but Craig made a great point while we were discussing this about how these movies reference every past time. They even reference Season of the Witch in Kills too. They referenced Season of the Witch in 2018. They double down on that in Kills when he decorates his kills in the park with the 3 different masks from Season of the Witch.
Which I think also not foreshadows, but references like how much that movie bombed. Because Season of the Witch was supposed to be the successor afterwards. Halloween was supposed to be a series of monsters
Anthology
brought
films.
to a real life perspective. So the boogeyman was just a serial killer, basically, named Michael Myers. But he got so popular that everyone wanted him back.
They demanded him back.
And they pretty much did not give Season of the Witch a chance.
Which is what Ganny was just saying in chat too, like about and we're in agreement that if Season of the Witch were just called Season of the Witch and not Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, it would have been more successful. They didn't slap the Halloween tag
Season
on.
of the Witch was the more creative between if we're counting Halloween 1 and 2, and then just 3 standalones. Halloween 3 put a lot of creativity into it, which is kind of sad, which is the whole take on witchcraft and everything.
The movie should just be called Season of the Witch. Work on it. Right. There's more. I guess we'll head on over to theorizing for ends. What's to come in ends?
Fun fact, everybody, again, CJ and I on my end, we did a Just Chat stream, and we broke down every Halloween timeline, including Season of the Witch, the Jamie Lloyd, the H2O version, Busta Rhymes, covering over with Rob Zombie, 2018, and predicting everything but the flashbacks that would happen in Kills.
Yeah. Go watch that.
So we called it all.
I think we did a pretty nice job. It's on the Beast channel.
I even said that Karen was going to die. CJ said that this is Michael's movie, and we fucking broke down everything, and we got it all. So I guess, where do we go now with Halloween Ends? What are the thoughts? What is happening? There's something that CJ told me, potentially. We're going to have to look at this in 2 routes. 4 years later, or picking it up the very same night again, just like Halloween Kills did. What's the thought process?
Director said 4 years later.
Okay, then it'll be 4 years later.
Director also said we'll deal with COVID and other issues.
Yeah, because 4 years later puts it in
2022 when it comes out.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Which will be next year when it comes out. So that'll be pretty interesting.
So before I forget too, there's also something that the director said, that this movie is to bring a parallel in for Laurie and Michael, because Michael essentially has nothing, and Laurie has pretty much lost everything except for Lindsay and Allison. So, and she has, I think, Hawkins. Those are the only 3 things she has left.
Who may or may not be Karen's father.
Yeah,
may or may not. The hospital scene kind of nudges you, right? Like,
Karen is dead, and Lori's gonna
She's dead
heavily feel
anyway.
that because she thought she prepared her daughter. That there's that whole scene that if your daughter hates, or I mean, if your mother hates me, but is ready for the horrors of this world, then I can live with that. But she didn't. She died.
Everybody needs to heal anyway, so maybe the 4-year time skip will be helpful because Lori's still hurt from the stabs to the gut.
Plus, it has a busted knee.
Allison, yeah. Someone said it was a femur, right, too. Like, that'd have been even worse. I don't think it was that. Look at Marcus, our co-host in chat, calling out Jace for sleeping. Anyway. Halloween ends. Juicy, what do you think's going to happen in the final one? You made that comment. I'm still contractually obligated to one more film, bitch. So I can't die.
My guess is just pretty much anything on the table.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you think is going to happen.
I have 2 guesses. I don't know about anything else. Lori's gonna die. The Michael Myers house is gonna burn down.
Yep. CJ and I called that too.
Lori
for Halloween
is going to die. Yes.
Yeah.
What was the second one? The Myers house going to burn down?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm with you because the house is the source of the power. For whatever reason, the house is the source of everything with him. You need to burn that fucking house down.
Yeah. And if that's the thing that triggers him to finally
he just
do
drops
another
to his knees?
Yeah.
Did they make a call back to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 where Michael finally does talk? Die! Fucking Tyler Mane.
Dude, what if the first word that he actually says, he just pulls your why as the house is burning down?
Oh, why? Me and that word why. Anyway, but I'm with both of those 2 predictions all the way, 100%. That's got to happen. And to take it even further, the original 2018 film, Laurie's movie, kills Michael's movie.
Kills kind of feels like Karen's in the big spotlight, so therefore...
Okay, you know what? That's a good point. Original film, Laurie's movie. 2018, Karen. Kills Michael. Ends Allison. She's been groomed for this role to take over the lead.
Is Laurie versus Michael. Kills is Michael versus Karen.
Mm-hmm.
And ends will be Allison versus Michael because they didn't really have a proper showdown.
A new generation is introduced to Michael Myers. That fucking
and I'm sure in the 4-year time skip, I'm sure Laurie is going to be training
drill sergeant.
Is definitely going to be training Allison out the ass because they definitely know at that point that Karen's going to be dead and Michael's out there somewhere.
What else? I definitely believe that the answers to how Michael has survived all of this properly will be revealed, other than what we've hypothesized here. David Gordon Green will reveal it. I believe that.
Also, fun fact too, he has no obsession with Laurie anymore.
That was never a thing. He never had it. Like, she wasn't even special on the night of the original film. You happened to pass by his house.
Wrong place, wrong time. That's all.
Wrong place, wrong time. That's literally
the dad
it.
Already knew. The dad already knew. He goes, you know what? You take the key, not me.
Which plays in point 2 with the
Maybe
whole,
he's territorial.
Plays with the house, yeah, because she just does something where she touches the house and he went after her.
Yeah.
So,
like, she didn't just pass by it. She went up to the door, like, and dropped the keys
only thing
off.
it has in common is just the house. Just literally everyone is in his way of getting home.
That's it. Because they say it, too. His kills are all a line home. Like, you're in his way home. For the route that he chooses to take. Home. And Big and Little John were literally in their home. Like, it's in Michael's home. It feels like everyone's in his territory.
Just realized, in the original, for every film now, it's him kind of like going back home. In the first one, he's leaving home after he gets his first kill.
In the 1978?
In 1978, he's leaving. Like, as a kid, he's walking out of his house. So I wonder if this definitely I feel like has to relate to Judith Myers, and I wonder if this is just all like he killed her and like it was just something that
Remember
took
what
him
he did
over.
with her
Like,
headstone in the original film? He went and dug
yeah,
it up at the
so
cemetery.
I wonder if Michael is actually filled with regret for killing his sister, and he just can't live with it, and he's just
Now everybody
essentially
else
just
has to die.
he's like not necessarily like that to agree, but it's just more like he's just so filled with rage that he has no idea how to cope with it, and like the fact that they locked him up, and honestly, back in the 70s and 60s, dealing with mental health was not exactly their
Yeah.
forte. We're in the 21st century, and like we're actually in the year 2021 and shit, and people are getting a good handle on it, and it's not even super successful now. Like it's taken more seriously, but definitely back then it was no one fucking took it seriously at all.
What could happen? Ooh, excuse me.
Yeah, I think we can all agree though. Laurie is definitely gonna she's filled with the Loomis role. So if Michael dies, therefore she has to die.
Michael bites the dust and ends. Obviously,
yeah.
that'll
So
be it.
they both have to go out.
And they're gonna join Loomis in the afterlife. Speaking of Loomis, the CGI was so well done. The bringing him back was he looked just like the original film, even close up. You know what? My wife actually asked me while we were watching it. She was like, "Whoa, did they use like original footage from the film?" I was like, "No, that's not original footage."
I would love them to make a Telltale version of Halloween.
We need a legit game, dude. Like how
do something interactive with the story. Like you know how they did the Saw games, where it's just like you're a side character, or you're a different character that's related to a main character in the plot. So I was like, well, why don't they just give Loomis a kid and just call him like, I don't know, fucking Samuel Loomis Jr. And you just kind of carry on your kid's, your dad's legacy, just trying to fucking hunt down Michael.
I don't know why that was so funny, dude. Just call him. I'm waiting for you to say something like originally, like Samuel Loomis Jr. You know, and then
I was gonna say like
face,
Sean
Chris's
Loomis
face got me
keep
too.
the SL in it.
Prediction for ends. These movies have been notorious for not retreading necessarily, but redoing to amazing success the past films. Just a spitball. That shot with Allison with the knife at the end of the original will come to full fruition. She will become more than the one that killed Michael. He may be the next Michael.
Also, I wish Karen's death was more visceral because it was kind of like, I feel like they threw a nod in at Psycho because it looked like a Psycho-esque kill,
and that's
which is a nod
Jamie
to
Lee Curtis's mother.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis's
which
mother.
they reference in H2O because her mother's in the movie, like, and they play a version of the Psycho theme as she walks away to her car.
Yep. So I wonder if that was a fucking nod in for Karen.
But yeah, that's just a bold prediction. Probably won't come true. It's 4 years later, so everyone's going to be healed up. Like Craig said, training. Dragon Ball Z level training. Time skip training.
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder if they're going to use that footage in 2018. There's like a clip where Laurie's like backing up for Michael and she has like a knife in her hand and she takes a stab at him and he catches it. But that never makes it into the final cut. It's just in the trailer. So I wonder if they're going to, because there's more footage from Halloween Kills that they didn't use either. A lot with Laurie walking down with the knife. So I wonder if all these clips that were supposed to be shown are actually for ends.
For ends?
Yeah, like, because I imagine Allison's going to have her battle, Laurie's going to have her battle, and then just at the end, like, you know, I imagine Allison will make the final blow, if not Laurie, and then we'll just die together, Laurie and Michael.
You see, some people are saying, damn, don't you guys love how your brains just like completely crumble on you and forget what you were gonna say?
Yep.
Pepperidge Farm remembers, and Yep. Oh. Some more things for ends. I'll say this. The stupid characters and kills, you need that, but I think it was a little overdone. For example, the stupid bitch who was dressed as the nurse getting her way out of the car. Michael was on top of the car, occupied with others. Instead of shooting him right there, he's not even looking at you, runs away.
The moment he walks out in front of like the nurse before he starts to stab her, just like line yourself up away from the door, shoot him in the back, and paralyze him.
Not even, bro, like, it shouldn't have got to that. You have a gun, and you're right there, like, he's not even looking. When she jumped out of the car, he ran away, and then she tries to come toward the car, trying to walk him down, unloading the gun, just wasting the shots. And he kicks the door into her, like, and shoots her. So satisfying. So satisfying.
Yeah.
Stupid
Michael's
character.
A fucking artist. He fucking was like, thank God I watched those old Bruce Lee movies.
The way that he got out of the car, too, he was all like, he looked down. He didn't say this, but he did. He was like, stupid bitch.
Stupid bitch.
And then, anyway, but that was really frustrating. And Michael just really became my hero in this movie, killing these stupid characters. Like when Little John goes upstairs to see Big John dead, puts his weapon down when you know that he was just killed, like, and that the threat is there. He puts his weapon down, and he's all like, oh, what? And then, like, just lets Michael walk toward him and kill him, too. And
it's still not stupider than fucking Big John dropping a golf club for a baby knife.
Yeah. I think
the only saving grace is that they were high as shit, and that's what's got to be the reason they made so many dumb decisions.
Now, that shit was so funny, though, like, because, like, they were hella high. Like, it was all like, now they're at the back door. We couldn't stop laughing at that little line in the theaters. Like, Big and Little John, like, I like Big and Little John, especially like the introduction to him when he's upstairs. It's Halloween, like how you said. I thought that was really well done.
They're the two character equivalent to 2018. Those just random two officers that were just chatting about their lunch. Same thing.
I got peanut butter on my penis. Fucking Allison's dad. That made his death kind of satisfying.
Him, by the way,
that made his death satisfying. No,
I like, that they actually reference him too. Like, that's what Allison's whole driven motive is, to avenge her dad. I appreciate.
And she's lost her mother now too. It's on and ends. It's on.
The two of them are going to be on the same page, Allison
and we never talked about how brutal and dirty Michael did the firefighters. Lord have mercy, dude. Goodness gracious, that is how I imagine he fucked up the police station in Halloween 4.
I feel so bad for Tommy Doyle. That's like the only person you feel bad for, because former Sheriff Brackett, stupid enough to
he thought he was bad. Tommy thought he was bad, but you know about Michael too. Why are you guys stopping? Here's what my wife said. It shows that the town is still kind of human. Like, they have good in them still. Like, it's why they stopped at a certain point. Whereas Michael does not stop until you're dead. That's what makes him distinct. He's the only one who does that, outside of maybe Lori trying to do it too, or something like that. It's well done. It makes sense. Because, like, these people just had, like, an innocent person. They just killed an innocent person. So now they're going to pull the brakes.
Too, CJ? Only the Strode women were ready for the fake out that Michael does. They were ready. Karen was ready. That's why she grabbed his mask, because if you see him get up after she, like, takes out the pitchfork, he has a knife, like, that he's holding like this, ready to attack her. But when she takes off the mask, he's like, all right, I got to get up. She took my shit. She didn't buy my fake out.
Speaking of the pitchfork and Karen, remember that thing I read to you yesterday? I'll summarize it. This is not my theory. It's a comment I ran into. Just a summary. It's Halloween is all about the darkness and the abyss, how you react to it. Lori is in the darkness, like looking out that window, like it's the abyss, right? Michael represents what happens when you stare into the abyss for too long and then it stares back into you. That's Michael. Karen refused to step into the darkness because she saw what it did to her mother and how Michael is. So she does not understand how to properly take down evil. It reflects in her actions, like with the rake. Allison appears to be the perfect balance of chaos and order. That's why she will destroy Michael, because only when you step into the darkness yourself do you then know evil, and can you choose to do good properly. And she will be the character who does that.
Also,
that's a
fun
theory I
fact
ran into.
I just realized something. You know how Michael's staring out the window?
Yes.
That's a nod to Halloween 2 when Laurie has that dream.
She remembers
of when she
like
first met
the
Michael. Yep.
when she went to go
Young
see
Michael.
him as a girl, like, and he was looking out the window, but then he turned back for a second too, like to get a look at her.
Yep.
That's when they were siblings, though. So that, like,
Yep.
that's the only reason he turned from the window, because they were siblings there. Because this Michael will just keep looking wherever he is. So yeah. And my theory, I had a theory myself. For some reason I can't recall it though. Like, I had like a separate theory myself when it came to the Hollow Women and Michael. I like how you coined that too, by the way. Correct, the Hollow Women. Really well.
Shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis. She's the one who came up with it.
And she's a scream queen.
Yep.
You know.
That was her directly calling that. That's no one wrote that in. She calls them the Hollow Women. A great name for the franchise.
It's amazing how different she is from Laurie Strode too. Jamie Lee Curtis. Right. My mother told me too, like, that growing up, like, she idolized her, like she loved her, like she wanted to be like her. Jamie Lee Curtis. Speaking of which too, just a quick side note here. Does anyone notice that no one's complaining about the Halloween movies being female led, but they did about Terminator Dark Fate, like, and all that? It's because these Halloween movies are good.
Well, also the difference with Dark Fate too is that
it sucked.
They try to put everything for a female role. Like,
yeah, they were tripping.
It's always been Laurie versus Michael with, like, Loomis. It's like if they brought another Loomis in and they made it a female just because.
Right. See?
It'd be one thing if it was the nurse. That would be, like, a little bit more fitting. But if it was just some random woman that's like, oh yeah, I'm Loomis's fucking student. Fucking call me Samantha Loomis or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. And yeah, it's just implied that it's a woman or some shit like that. Like, and it's forced. That's the difference. Is
these movies don't do that. These movies are all about
there's nothing
story
wrong with having a kick-ass heroine.
Hell no, there's nothing wrong with it. Yes.
Or anything like that. Just, it should not feel forced.
Tenkai Big Cock. Okay, so not just the name, but welcome in Big Cock. I'm gonna have fun saying that. Came in and said like that Squid Game is overrated. We'll talk about Squid Game some other time. I've seen Squid Game. My colleagues have not. I like Squid Game. Naruto's here, Crego. He just followed. My guy. But anyway, though, thank you for the follow, Tenkai Big Cock. And I like Squid Game, and perhaps it is overrated, though. It was hella good. It is overrated still, though. I agree with you. Yeah. We're going to get back to Halloween now. Welcome in Naruto Uzumaki 120 as well. Welcome to the family. We're talking about Halloween Kills. Red light. I see what you did there. Squid Game reference. But back to Halloween. There was a theory I had, but you know what? If you can't remember something that's too damn bad, it wasn't meant to be said. That's how we always go. Anyway, I think we've done a nice job covering. What else happens and ends?
The whole chaotic neutral and everything?
Yes. Chaotic neutral.
Was that what was your theory?
I think I said that already. There was something else, but you know, like, it is what it is. Like, if anything, like, if I remember, like, I'll mention it on stream tonight.
Okay.
During Soma. No problem.
Then don't miss Soma, everybody. Oh, Soma ass in your mouth.
I think I'll miss the stream on purpose than myself.
See, Juice knows. Juice seen Human Centipede.
Lucy Booty. We're gonna love that nickname after him. But okay. When is the watch party? Yesterday. Anyway, but definitely go see Halloween Kills. Everyone, it's on Peacock, also in theaters right now. But before you see Halloween Kills, please do watch the original and the 2018 film. Both great films. Kills is good. I thought the characters were too stupid at times.
You need to watch Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Consider them the exact same film. That's what
Just like you would with Halloween and Halloween 2. Which is why I really feel like Kills is a redo of 2 that Carpenter's actually happy with.
Kills really feels like it's actually just the
same night
movie.
continued. Yeah.
Halloween 2 does feel like a different movie.
I feel like that theory almost came back to me there, but nah. Anyway, I think we can wrap up. I think we did a nice job covering them. Go see the movies. Let us know what you think in our individual chats. I'm D. Charles Jackson. 15th. Our names are above up there. You can see our names individually here on Twitch. I'm D. Charles Jackson. That's NOG_CTV. That's PenceFan1. Check us out. We all stream individually as well here on Twitch. It's currently Terror Television over on Noob Level Gaming. It's Spooktober for myself. And Juicy's still getting back into the reins of streaming again. He made his return. It's Fire Cell season for Juicy right now.
I'm probably going to add another day on that because the first one was just so quiet.
I'll be more active for that second one. Anyway, we thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. We don't know for sure if we'll have our guest. We don't know for sure anything, but we do know this for sure. We'll see you in 2 weeks. It's going to be a great show. Thanks, Marcus, for joining us in chat, too. We hope to have you next week as well in full. We probably won't.
2 weeks.
We need to, 2 weeks. We're still working on rescheduling the show, too, by the way, folks. There's more talking about that because now that Marcus has this new work schedule, we can get down to the nitty gritty on that much better now, too. So thank you for joining us. I'll see you later today. The Beast will probably see you later today as well. Yeah. Yes, sir. See you later. And
yes, sir.
That's it. What the fuck else you want? Get the fuck out of here.
See you on the next level.
There's your food. We delivered your food, bitch. Where's the tip? Get out of here. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.
On Dragon Ball.